Welcome to Mother-Daughter Projects. I'm Steph.
I'm Vicki.
This is Mac. And this is Tosh. So 2 years ago, we made a raised dog bowl for this girl right here. And I just got 1 week ago, I got Tosh. I adopted her from Jacksonville. She's a retired racing greyhound, just like Mac. And so that meant we needed to make a new dog bowl. So today we're gonna show you how we made this 3-bowl raised dog stand for Mac and Tosh. Let's get started.
Starting out, I wanted to make sure that the stand was heavy enough to be grounded and not pushed around by the dogs when they're eating. We realized we had the perfect board already at the house, this 2x12 piece of lumber. Unfortunately, we left it out in the elements. As you can see, it developed a coating that's pretty gross, so we're going to take care of that after we make our cuts. I measured the space the dog bowl will be in and found out it needed to be 28 inches across or less to fit. I started by cutting that piece and checking to make sure the 3 bowls would fit. It looked good, so I went on to cut the 2 pieces for the legs at 13 inches each. You can see we're using a sliding miter saw, which allows us to cut wider lumber like this. Now to take care of the gross coating on the wood. Mom started by using crud cutter on the deep stains. Then she moved on to bleaching the wood to kill any kind of growth that might be there and to lighten the stains. I wanted a decorative element of metal pipe, so Mom prepped that by first removing the white lettering with mineral spirits. There was a weird coating that was kind of flaking off, and Mom used acetone to remove that completely. Next, we figured out the placement of the bowls. I put the legs on top because I realized the bowls wouldn't be able to be all the way towards the edge because of the placement of the legs on the bottom. So here I'm adjusting the bowls and the legs to try to figure out a good placement, and I'm using the Craig multi-mark to make sure it's all lined up on all sides. Then I traced a circle around the first bowl, but we needed to cut a little bit inside of that circle, so we measured what size that needed to be, and I made a template on the computer and printed it out. We eyeballed the placement and drew around the circle, which is now the cutting line. I clamped the board to our Husky work table and drilled a starter hole for the jigsaw blade. I started to cut out the first circle, and you could see we actually outlined that with a Sharpie to make it easier to see. And Mom is following me with canned air to help blow away the sawdust so that I can see where my blade is going. We tested it out with the leg and it fits perfect. We used the measurements from the first bowl to make the marks for the other 2 bowls. Your measurements are going to depend on the bowls that you're using. I bought a bunch of these bowls from Chewy.com so that I always have clean bowls ready for feeding my dogs. We continue the process with the next 2 holes. My advice with a jigsaw is to use very good quality blades. Take it slow and know that it's not going to be perfect, but that's fine because you can clean it up with some sanding later on. Also, you can see here we have a Ryobi battery-powered jigsaw, which is a must in our minds, as we previously had a corded jigsaw and it just was too hard to maneuver. Mom cleaned up the circles with a drum sander bit on our Dremel rotary tool. I set up the stand and we determined where we wanted the pipe to be placed. Mom marked the center on both legs with a nail set. I clamped the legs together and used a spade bit to drill through both. Our pipe is 3/4 inch and so is the spade bit. Mom gave everything a nice sanding. We really wanted to be able to see the wood grain, but we knew our wood wasn't the best after having to bleach it and having to remove the stains. We decided to stain it with some leftover Olympic solid stain in chestnut that we used a few months back for my porch furniture. This is a full coverage stain, but we tried wiping some off to see the wood grain, and we love the final look. Because this is going to be where my dogs are eating, and we had so much to do for the prep of the wood, I wanted to make sure everything was completely sealed, so Mom put 3 coats of shellac on top of this off camera. Shellac is a natural product that is safe once hardened. We're going to be adding a decorative element of strap hinges to each corner. We laid everything out and marked the placement. Mom used a nail set to get the holes started, and I drilled pilot holes. We first glued the legs and top together, made sure that they were straight, clamped one side to the table. Then we used an impact driver to drive a screw to attach the 2 pieces together. The cool idea I had here was to actually use the strap hinges to hide those screws, and it worked perfectly. To seal the pipe pieces, Mom is adding some wax. The dogs are not going to eat off of this, so I figured wax was pretty sufficient. We added the pipe elements and put the caps on. Then I added 4 rubber feet to the bottom to help protect the floor. And done. You can see the dogs can easily eat out of these bowls, and it was the perfect solution.
What we learned.
We actually used a shellac finish on this, and unfortunately we didn't wait long enough for it to cure, so we do have some fingerprints and we do have some water staining. So we will be redoing the finish on this. We will shellac it again, but this time we'll put some wax on it, and hopefully the water will beat up when we just wipe it off and no more staining.
Yes, exactly. In the video you saw that we actually use this element here as like a decorative element, but I also thought it was cool that underneath it is where the screw is that attaches the top to the bottom. So when you're making things like this, keep in mind, like, could decorative elements
Actually be functional.
be pretty and functional? I was actually pretty proud of that.
And that really was pretty cool. I wasn't sure that was going to work, but it absolutely positively worked, and it was a great solution for covering those screw heads.
And I really like the look of it too.
Yeah. So you may be wondering where we got that black pipe. Well, we have a local Ace store, and they have the most amazing selection of black pipes and fittings, and it's very organized. So we just went on down there and got our piece of pipe, and in and out in no time.
So I always had to envision the pipe as like a decorative element, but now that it's all together, I like the look of it, but I also could leave it. Like, I could take it or leave it. I'm like, it doesn't really matter to me, basically.
Well, I like it. I think it grounds it, and I think otherwise it might look like it's just floating in the space, but I just think it kind of grounds it. So I am team black pipe.
I'm team take it or leave it. So let us know in the comments below, if you made this, would you use the pipe or not use the pipe?
Now, a raised stand is something that is recommended for greyhounds, but that's not the case for every single breed of dog. So if you're thinking about doing a raised dog bowl, you need to check with your vet first, be sure that it's something that is right for your dog.
I also want to let you know that I've actually started a second channel for some kind of vlog style, more personal type videos. It is my channel. Mom does make some appearances here and there, but we recently went on vacation and we shared a vlog of that, and also we share a vlog of getting Tosh from Jacksonville and that trip, meeting her and then picking her up. So if you want to check that out, I will put a link to that below. And if you want to see the video where we made the original dog bowl, raised dog bowl for Mac, I'll put a link to that right here.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, hit that like button.
That's right, like and subscribe.
And subscribe. And tell all your friends.
Yes.